Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of June, and we are reading from day 174 of the Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn. Day 174, The Gospel Acts Continuum. He led me into a small room within the chamber of scrolls with just under 30 scrolls, mostly small, but one was larger by far than the rest. It was this one that he took down and unrolled on the wooden stand that stood by the shelves. "What do you see?" asked the teacher. Two columns of writing," I said, "and the column on the right has what looks like a title above it. The column on the left is the closing of the Gospel of John and the end of the Gospels, the accounts of Messiah's work of salvation. And the column on the right is the opening of the book of Acts, the Acts of the Apostles. Therein is the revelation." "The revelation? You didn't even read anything out of it." "The revelation is the end of the Gospels and the beginning of Acts." What does that mean?" "The placement of the two," he said. "That is the revelation. You see, the gospel could have been the end, but it's not. It's the beginning. The gospel leads to Acts. The gospel must always lead to Acts. It's not enough to hear the gospel message. It must produce change. You must act on it. The good news leads to action. Every time you hear the good news, every time it enters your heart, you must let it turn into acts. Otherwise, it's not complete. The gospel leads to acts. That's one side of the revelation. And the other? The book of Acts begins with the Gospels. It can never exist on its own. Acts must always begin with the gospel. You can never produce the acts of God or the acts of godliness on your own. Your acts must always begin with the good news. They must be birthed out of it as its natural outflowing. The gospel of love must produce the acts of love. The gospel brings forth acts. That's the order and the flow, and it will flow if you let it. The gospel of mercy will produce acts of mercy. The gospel of resurrection will produce acts of resurrection. So, let the gospel produce its acts in your life, and let the acts of your life be birthed in the gospel. For the gospel must always lead to acts. The mission. Today, let the gospel produce the acts of God in your life, and let all your acts proceed from the good news. Get wholly into the gospel, and you will enter the book of Acts. And we are reading from Isaiah 61, verse 1, the Gospel of John chapter 21, verses 25 through Acts chapter 2, and the book of James chapter 2, verses 17 through 26. May the grace and peace of God be with you.